Hello and welcome back to another video. We have the September ScrawlrBox, so let's dive right in. It feels quite light, this box, so not as thick and heavy as usual, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's not going to be something very good. I can already see I love the artwork that's shown here. So this is the featured artwork for this box. This is beautiful. It looks like some sort of watercolour. It looks stunning. I really love this piece of art. It's beautiful. And the featured artist is Matty Burnham, an ink and watercolour illustrator originally from Cumbria, now living near Leeds in Yorkshire, so near me. That's really cool. I like that. So they're the socials at the bottom, so give them a follow. That is beautiful. I'm sure I've seen this nearby at some point. Very, very nice. Love it. Love it. Okay, let's dive into the supplies next. Alright, so the Scrawler sticker is a snip of that artwork. Very nice. We have a milk chocolate covered toffee as our sweet. I will add the sweet rating here. And then we have, so the main item in this box are Daler Rowney Aquafine watercolours in yellow ochre, cadmium red hue and ultramarine blue dark. Very nice colours, very RGB. Interesting. I am excited to try these. We have had the Aquafine in a ScrawlrBox prior, and I think we had RGB then too. I will have to have a look back, but I'm excited to see how they look as colours. We have a 0.3 Pentel point liner, water and fade resistant. Very, very nice. A nice fine point on that. And then the last supply is a Princeton number 4 Aqua Elite round paintbrush. That looks like a very nice brush. I like that very, very much. And then the paper that we have for this box is some Arches premium art quality paper. This is 3 sheets A5 discovery pack. Oh, it does here. Including this discovery pack is 1 sheet of cold pressed, 1 sheet of hot pressed and rough, 300 GSM natural white. So we've got 3 different types of paper there. Interesting. So we can try it on 3 different types. Let's have a quick look in the Scrawler zine for this box. So we have the lovely double page spread there. The Scrawler artist, a little bit more about Matty Burnham. These artworks are beautiful. Really, really beautiful. I love the colours. We have some Scrawler tips, some more Scrawler tips and a deep dive into how to use the watercolours, and then some artist advice. So I will give an overview of those as we swatch the supplies. And then this is artwork from 2 months prior when we had the Derwent Inktense blocks and the ScrawlrChallenge was To Infinity and Beyond. Some lovely, lovely artworks here. Very, very nice. And then the top 3 here, we've got Eva, Elsa and Jan Smith. Very nice, interesting. I love those. So to get yourself featured, make sure you're tagging hashtag ScrawlrChallenge and then the number. I think it's the box number now. Yeah, ScrawlrChallenge 116 for this box that's showcasing here. It used to be just ScrawlrChallenge, but I think they are trying to single out the specific artwork for each box. So make sure you're adding that number to your tag. Very, very nice. And then the Scrawler Extra is a little bit about Scrawler Stash from Sean Sutherland. Very nice. And the wonderful watercolours. Lovely. Some more features here. These are beautiful. Look at that one. That's incredible. And then the other Scrawler Extra is Can Art Be Sustainable? And a little bit more about that. It's going to be an interesting read. And then lastly, our ScrawlrChallenge is Happy Place. Okay, so that's really broad. I guess the featured artist's happy place is wherever this lovely house is, in the malls maybe. So that's going to be really interesting. I've got a few ideas for that already, and I'm excited to use these 3 primary colours to really bring out a mixture of colours. As you can see, they can do a lot of things. Maybe we'll do a little swatch and a paint palette test to see how many colours we can create with those 3, red, yellow and blue. So let's get cracking and see what we can come up with for our happy place. Right, so for the Scrawler tips, we have the usual for watercolours. We have wet on wet techniques, we've got swatching, but I did find this bit very, very interesting. So it says watercolour essentials, ratios and values. Mix up and activate lots of watercolour to work with. The more the better, that way you will always have enough of what you are using. Load up your paintbrush with plenty of paint. You want a nice wet brush as it needs to glide across the page, filling in your required area with ease, resulting in smooth, transparent and even application of paint. The area you are working on should always look wet. If you find your brush scrubbing against the paper, it's too dry. There should be no need to overwork your paint on the page, which I do find when I first ever started using watercolours, I do find that that was an issue I had, was that I was using the paint like acrylic. I was using it thick or very dry and I wasn't watering it down enough. The whole point of watercolours is to add water, so play with washes, water down your paint, create those puddles of paint and use them in layers, lots and lots of layers. That will massively help. As you can see here, I did one of my grids, but I did it slightly differently. I almost did it like a colour wheel, where I added the values in between of those colours, the primary colours, to make the secondary colours, and I added them in between those on the grid. And look at this amazing range of colours, and it really inspired me doing this grid, so I highly recommend doing this with any of your supplies. It does inspire your choices for the artwork. Now, speaking of which, onto the artwork. So in terms of the paper types, we obviously received the cold press, the hot press and the rough paper types. Now I predominantly use cold press, so I used that for my swatching because I knew how to use that the best and I liked how smooth it was. And then I actually used for my final piece the rough watercolour paper, and that's purely because one, I never use it and I thought what's better time to try it than now, and two, I just really wanted to see how that really rough texture would pool and would hold the watercolour and see how it would react. And spoiler alert, I really liked it, and it's something that I think I'm going to play with in the future. My only qualm with it is that when I scan it in to create products from my artwork, that rough texture really does show up, and sometimes it's very difficult to remove to be able to get a nice finished piece of product, i.e. for stickers and things like that. Not necessarily for prints, because the prints I don't mind having that texture on, but for things that are polished like sublimation and things, you don't want that texture in. So, but I do think it will play a part in my supplies. Now the subject that I chose was actually Bamburgh Castle. So for the ScrawlrChallenge Happy Place, Bamburgh Castle in Northumbria, if you've never been, is an incredible place. There's castles all over Northumbria, and this one in particular is on a really lovely rocky high point just off the sea. And so you have the sea houses, these colourful houses that line the seafront, and then you have Bamburgh Castle towering over the beach, and it is the most stunning place. And it's somewhere that I often went when I was younger with my family. We stayed there quite often, and just recently I took Natalie, my partner, there for their birthday one year a couple of years ago, and I love going there. It's just so incredible and so inspiring. And I remember being there just as the sun was setting and the sun was kind of reflecting off all the clouds, and the clouds had these lovely striations of length kind of going across the sky, and it was really beautiful. And I actually painted this in watercolours back then when I viewed it, and it was really stunning, and I used that as a basis to kind of build on and create this painting, knowing what I know now and how to use watercolours a little bit better, and obviously using these 3 primary colours to create this piece. And I'm really excited about it. I really love it. I love the way it turned out. I love the softness of the sky. I love the deep yellows of the beach, but it kind of plays off that sky tone. And for the castle here, I actually mixed up a really deep purple colour using the red, the blue, and a very tiny amount of the yellow as well, the ochre, and it created this really dark, deep colour that I slowly layered upon and built upon, which you will see shortly. And I created a lot of depth with it. Now, the one thing I really enjoyed with this painting, and it's one thing that I've learned, is that as you paint and you layer, if you've over darkened something, just add a bit of water, take a bit of kitchen roll or a bit of tissue, and just lift that paint back off. You can create depth so well with watercolour. It's not the end if you put a dark colour down, it's not the end at all. Obviously if you want something white, you can't get it quite white again, but you can lift the colours and brighten them and create depth, and it's a really great way of doing it. Now the foreground was predominantly this yellow ochre. I added in the cadmium red to add a nice orange hue to it and add a bit of depth to it, and then again I used that dark purple to add bits of depth to the sand in the foreground, making it darker in the foreground and lighter in the background. Now I do add some more of this purple as almost like seaweed washed upon the sand, which worked really, really well. However, I do think that I darkened the castle a little bit too much, considering it's pushed back. I needed to lighten it rather than darken it, because I didn't want that to be the focal. It was meant to be kind of in the background. The sand dunes and the seaweed were meant to be more of the focal point. So I do think in terms of depth, I could have maybe pushed that castle back a little bit further, and it didn't help when I actually go over with the pen, the liner, to add detail. I think it brought it forward too much. So that is one thing that I will change, but overall I really, really liked this painting. I think it works really well. As you can see here, this is me lifting it to create the rockiness and the highlights on the rocks, and it worked really well. I'm going to leave you to watch the rest of this video. I hope you enjoy the subject. I hope you've enjoyed the box if you've received it yourself. Do let me know in the comments if you have, and what you created with it, or what you would have created with it if you were to use the challenge Happy Place. I would love to know more about that. And for now, I will leave you to the rest of this video. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.